Today, Katiba Institute held a discussion to audit the Constitution and to know whether or not it's been implemented. So we are here today to find out from the participants of the discussion whether they're satisfied with the review. For Zalendo News, I'm Faith Mutete.
We've actually left policymakers to be only in the hands of executive, and we don't audit and we don't actually track what is happening. If everybody is responsible, we'll have a vibrant society whereby we will have a crime-free society. Yes, at each and every household, that everybody, even at family level, everybody is responsible. Yes, we are seeing cases whereby people are actually rampant, people are just committing suicides, even in the police sector. But this is because people do not talk and engage. People just have issues, stress at work, and people do not engage. A platform for engaging where people can actually share and seek opinion on how we can have the solutions. So solutions is among us. This is a good platform which we would want it to continue so that we engage across the country and we engage also with the government agencies so that nobody feels that everyone or somebody is particularly a threat to the system.
I feel Katiba Institute have done a really great job in just assessing the implementation of the Constitution. From the meeting, it has come out that we don't need to change the Constitution. The Constitution is good as it is. The only challenge is implementing it. So the government is failing us, especially the national government and parliament. They should be at the forefront in ensuring that the Constitution is effectively implemented. And on the gender issue, I think women, we need to re-strategize. We cannot just sit and wait for Parliament to ensure that the two-thirds gender principle will be implemented. So as it was advised, as women, we need to organize politically and come up with a strategy of how we'll get to Parliament without waiting for members of Parliament to enact a law. Yeah, women basically just need to strategize.
Practically, it has not been implemented. That is as far as the gender role is concerned. And it's quite obvious among Kenyans. This is very visible. But it's because of our politicians being turncoats. When they were writing this constitution, they were all in one place, singing the same song like termites in their hall. And then after that, they said they would amend certain sections, but now we found that it's under attack at a time when there is political sensitivity in the country.
I think that there's a lack of interest on the part of many people in the political class. I also feel that many people in civil society, interestingly, frighteningly, have made a living or have made a whole life out of reform. And if the country were ever to get its constitution fully implemented, there'd be nothing to do. So in fact, when I did apply to be chairman of the IEBC or commissioner, civil society said nothing about the lack of transparency in the recruitment exercise. It was just too bad that I was denied a chance to compete, despite my background. I think, as Gladwell Otieno said, there is, particularly with the Election Management Board, that is the IEBC, we do have a problem here. We have a situation of state capture.
I think 9 years after we promulgated the Constitution in 2010, we have to have, such conversations. We have to dig deep into the Constitution and see exactly what is it that has worked and what is it that has not worked. I think in terms of what I heard mostly is that, we've had difficulties in terms of implementing the Constitution itself. And the key source of some of these challenges, if I heard well, is the executive. There have been questions about whether institutions, including the independent commissions, have worked the way Kenyans thought they would work, whether they have really served Kenyans, whether they have really exercised their independence, and so on and so forth. And I think it's really a worthwhile exercise to reflect on these institutions because Kenyans pay very highly for some of these institutions, particularly the independent commissions, because one of their key duties is to safeguard the sovereignty of the people.
when we got this new constitution, in my opinion, a lot of people passed it even without understanding. As you are aware, most of it was politicized. So mainly people voted according to who their leader told them, what their leader told them to vote for. So up to now, when you go especially to the grassroots level, you will find that a lot of people do not really understand still up to now what this constitution contains and what it means for them. So based on this event, I say it's a good start, and like based on some of the recommendations that have been given, it should go now to the grassroots level so that they can be informed also and also give their views on what, if we say that we need some recommendations or some changes, we should also get their input.
I find it a little bit absurd because Kenyans are refusing to accept the reality that they have a poor economy. And at the moment, pumping substantial funds into a political exercise is a liability on its own for the economy of our country, because there are very many issues that the country or the political system has to tackle. So personally, I disagree with the idea of the referendum, because as far as I feel, it's like it's there to propel the agenda of certain people.
I do not believe we should have a referendum, because I do not believe you can have a referendum on a document that has never been fully implemented. In other words, we need to implement the letter and spirit of the 2010 Constitution and all subsidiary legislation enacted since the 27th of August, 2010, in order to figure out what's broken. We don't know what is broken, so we don't really know what there is to fix. And I think it's very dangerous to open the Pandora's box on a referendum, because you never know what's going to come out.